everybody. Yes, I just took a shower. No, I did not wake up like this. Today, I will be talking about what I think, what I have cultivated to be the proper movie watching technique. Now, you may be asking, what are my credentials to be speaking about this topic? Well, I have a lot of movie tickets. I guess you can't really see how many are in here, but there's quite a lot, actually. So, being that I've gone to the movies quite frequently, I feel that I am qualified to speak on this topic. A lot of this technique of movie watching I would sum up as just raw dogging the movie. And let me explain what I mean by this. First, before you go to watch the movie, you're not going to look up any reviews. You're not going to see what anybody else has to say about it. You're just going to go in blind, just raw dogging it. Now, let me explain why I say that. Now, that is something that my mother does. For example, she'll want to go to a movie, right? But she'll look it up and she'll see people said bad things about it and then she won't go. To me, I don't quite understand that because people have different opinions on different things, right? Obviously, somebody out there had to think that it was going to be a good movie, or else why would they make the movie? So just because somebody else said something doesn't mean that I feel like I'm not going to like it just because somebody else didn't like it. Or somebody says, you know what, this is really good pie, you should try some, but I don't like pie. So just because somebody else has a different taste than I do, I'm not going to use that to judge what kind of things I want to try myself. Hey everybody, I'm adding this in later because I'm just remembered now that I forgot to talk about this. If you look up the reviews for a movie and you see that they're bad, and then you decide not to go to the movie, that completely invalidates the existence of movies that are so bad that they're good. What I mean by this, kind of, is like, for example, take the movie Twilight. There's a lot of people who think that movie is just ridiculous, nonsense. Okay, but have you looked at it through the lens of a satire, of a parody, of something that's so bad that it's like, oh, there's no way, and then you sit and laugh at it? Regardless of whether or not that was what the author of the, story or the director intended, it doesn't really matter if at the end of the day you still like it for how you perceived it. So you don't look up any reviews for the movies. You're just going to go in. If you saw the trailer and you liked it, you're going to see it. If you didn't like it, you don't want to see it, then you're not going to go. But you're not going to look up what anybody else has to say, right? Then you're going to go to the movies and you're going to go way early. This is another thing that my mother would do, not to bring her up again, but let's say the movie at the movie theater starts at like 6 o'clock, right? She thinks, okay, let's leave the house at like 6 o'clock because, oh, then there's going to be the 20 minutes of previews. No. Sitting there and watching the previews is part of the movie experience itself. That's how I find out what movies I want to watch next, when I see the previews. Because sometimes, you might get a recommendation in your YouTube for a movie trailer, but sometimes you might not. There's a lot of movies out there that I wouldn't know were coming out if I didn't see the trailer for it. So that's one thing you're going to do. When you're there and you're watching the 20 plus minutes of previews, let's say a really good preview comes on. You're going to clap after. Here's why. Previews for the movie are like scenes taken from the movie. They're like little mini movies within themselves. So if I see a really good work, I've got to clap and let everybody know. Even if there's nobody else in the movie theater, I have to let everybody know, everybody being myself, that I really enjoyed the preview. Just to make a statement like, yes, great work. Another thing you're going to do is you're not going to buy any food or drink at the movie theaters. Now, first of all, it's way too expensive. If you really wanted something, then I would probably say, why don't you just sneak it in? But then some people will say, no, that's why, that's how movie theaters make their money. You're stealing from the movie theater if you sneak in food. Okay, fine. Don't buy any food. Just raw dog it. No food or drink. Here's why. As for drinks, you don't want to have to go to the bathroom during the movies. There's been some times I've even had where I didn't even buy a drink at the movie theater, and yet I still had to go to the bathroom. Then I come back and I miss the good part. I don't know what's going on. Even if you go with somebody else and they try to explain to you what's going on, it's like you didn't see it for yourself. So you don't want to have to go to the bathroom during the movie. Unless you're going to sit there and wear a diaper and just pee yourself, but then you probably don't want to smell that during the movie. So don't buy any drink, right? As for buying food, what food do people buy at the movie theater? Popcorn. Popcorn is a very loud food. If you were really that invested in the movie and you wanted to hear every word that was going on, then you wouldn't be munching on the popcorn, om nom nom. You would just be sitting there like you would just be so engaged with it, you wouldn't need an outside distraction. recently, this year, I went to, I think it was the 50th anniversary of the Jaws movie by Steven Spielberg, and I did have some popcorn. Even though I'm not a big popcorn eater, I had popcorn. The times when I decided to eat the popcorn was when I was bored. Because you know how sometimes you'll eat just randomly throughout your house and you realize, you know what, I wasn't even hungry. I was just bored. That's what happened to me during the movies. I found myself eating, and the reason why I was eating the popcorn was because I was kind of bored with the movie. I was like, okay, let's do something else. Let's eat the stupid popcorn, because the movie had a little, not that it was an awful, awful movie, but it was just the parts that were more boring. I was like, okay, let's eat now. If the movie was that good, then you wouldn't need to eat food to distract yourself. Eat it before the movie starts or eat it after the movie, but don't eat the food during the movies. And my last piece of technique in my proper movie watching technique is that you're going to stay until the end of the movie. Now, in the past few months, one time, I was in the movie theater, right? Then the credits come on. Then right away they put the lights on and everybody starts leaving. And then the like usher people at the movie theater come in, try to clean stuff. Nope, I stayed in my seat. I paid for this full movie. I'm about to see the entire thing. Now, first of all, there's different things I like to see in the credits. Like, for example, the soundtrack will be at the very, very end. Sometimes I like to see what songs were being played, right? Because you can't Shazam it because you can't be on your phone during the movie. That's another thing. Don't be on your phone during the movie. Don't be on your phone during the previews, just whatever. But I like to see what songs are there. Sometimes I like to see, who played different parts if I didn't know who the actor or actress was. And then another thing, sometimes you don't know if there's going to be an end scene at the end. Now, maybe you can look it up if the movie came out already, but there's been a lot of times where, for example, one time, it was earlier this year, I was seeing the movie Sinners with my friend, and so the credits came on, and then we went to go leave, right? As we were leaving, the end scene came on, and then we had to, stop, stand in the back while it went on, and then we had to wait and leave. It's like, just wait till the movie's over. I paid to see the movie. I'm going to see the full thing. So that's the end of my proper movie watching technique. If anybody else wants to comment their technique, you can do that in the comments, and we can have a nice little conversation about watching movies.